Ladies and gentlemen, today we will discuss to you the fifth lecture about get rid of your eyeglass and see clearly by ALKASAB training method. We have previously discussed three training exercises, which is the essential training exercise that must perform before each training. Today, we must learn how to prove that both eyes are seen in the same level of visual acuity. This is the fourth training exercise. And the other training exercise is how to reduce the contraction of eyelid when you fix, as we performed before. And the last one, the sixth one, is to see clearly by reduction of light or illumination, because when the illumination decreases, the vision will be blurred. To start with the training of each eye alone, we must perform first the previous three essential training exercises, which is the closing and fixation and come near and return. This is the first. The second is the fixation inside the chart, vertically and horizontally, to clarify more line. The third training exercise, which we have performed, is the fixation inside and outside the chart. These must be performed within 3 weeks. Each week we perform one exercise until we reach the best visual acuity that we could reach. In the mild refractive error, that is between half diopter and 1.5 diopter, the vision must be returned to 6/6 on both eyes within 3 weeks after we perform this training exercise perfectly and in the same time. That's to mean half to 1 hour daily, continuous or interrupted. This training exercise, in the mild, we perform that the vision will return normal. In the moderate, we have different degree. In the moderate degree of refractive error, that is between 2 to 4 diopter, the vision must return to 6/9 or 6/12 partial. That's before the third line from below, in both eyes. In the second degree of moderate, between 4 and 6, the vision will return to 6/12 or partial or 6/9. In the severe, from 6 diopter to 15 diopter, the vision must return to 6/24 or 6/36 partial on both eyes. This means that we reach a very good improvement of poor vision. We now start to perform the fourth training exercise. That means that we have to check each eye alone and we must reach in each eye to the same level that we reach in both when we see with both eyes. We first must put in our follow-up book the visual acuity of both eye, and the right eye and the left eye. After we perform this, we start this training exercise. We close the eye by the palm or by the closing one eye pad that we learned you before to make it, and start to close the left eye to see by the right eye. We first sit on 6 meters from the chart if we have good space in the room, or at 3 meters from the mirror and the chart behind us. And we start to read the visual acuity from above down until we reach the blurred line. In the right eye, the left was closed. The left was closed, and we see with the right eye. Okay? We see that the vision in each eye is less than when we open both eyes, when we train it before. So we close and we try to perform the first 3 essential training exercise. That means the massage, the closure, and the fix. If we don't reach, we come near and return back and perform the same training method that performed in the second lecture or third lecture about the first training exercise. After we finish this, we reach to the level. If it does not improve to the same line, we do the internal fixation and then the external fixation. When we reach the level that we see before, by the third 3 training exercise, we close the right eye. And we try to see. We see it, the vision become blurred less than before. We do the massage, closing 7 times, and then open. Not see, come near and return until we reach the level. If not, do the vertical and the horizontal fixation on the chart. If not, the inside and outside on the watch or any picture outside until we reach the line. This is the first fourth training exercise. We must force both eyes to see in the same level, because it is important to mix the 2 pictures clearly and see by the brain correctly. So this exercise is important. If we see one eye have poor vision than the other, less than 3 line difference, we have to stress and do the first 3 training exercise on the weak eye until we reach the same level of the other eye. This is very important. Why? Because we prevent the formation of lazy eye, that we leave and we see with one eye, and then later on it will be diverge and be squinting to the outside. This training exercise is very important. Each eye make the vision both are the same. This is the 5th training exercise. Now we go to the other training exercise. The other training exercise is to reduce the closure of the lid when we fix. In the previously we ask you to close and see. Don't worry if it is too much close. Now the training exercise how to reduce the closure of the lid so that the face will be in good state to be when we the other see it, not to look like this and see. This is to reduce the lid closure. This is very important and very difficult training exercise. Why? Because we shift the visual clearance from the extraocular muscle to the intraocular muscle, the ciliary muscle, so that we can see clearly without closing the lid and without make force on the extraocular muscle to fix any object clearly. How come? And this is important and it is difficult and we must stress on it. How we perform this training exercise. Simple, but slowly. Need more time. So we have to be patient because we see with poor vision for years. And we must perform this training exercise to see clearly with normal opening of the eyelid or slight closing of the lid, which is not seen by the person who look to you. How we perform this training exercise? Simple. The same method. We sit at 6 meters from the chart or 3 meters from the mirror and try to see from above downwards until we reach the level of the line that we see before. We perform at that time a closing of the lid to focus. Now, today, we have to reduce this closing. How? We start first to open the eye and read from up eyelid and see, look and see what line we read. We see that the vision become blurred because the lids are open and you do not stress on the extraocular muscle. What we do? We do the massage and look, closure and open. We slide to concentrate at 6 meters or 3 meters, close, semi-close the eyelid until we reach the level that we see before, then slowly open the lid. It become a blur. Once it become a blur, do the massage and open, do the massage and open. If we don't see, come near and do the massage and return. The same 3 training method before, especially the first training method. We see it is difficult, but it is important. We see that we could return back to the 6 meter or 3 meter of the chart and we have opened the lid more than before. We continue to open and close and come and massage until we see when the both lids are open normally. Or slight semi-closing of the lid. This is very important training exercise. We perform all the 3 essential training exercises by close and open until we open and see clearly the line that we reach with closing the eye. We perform it then each eye and do the same training exercise. First 3 training exercises. This is the most difficult training exercise than before. This is very important because we stimulate this intraocular muscle to see clearly. I think that we know these training exercise. Now we come the other training exercise that we must see clearly under low illumination. Under low illumination is very important to see. How come? Because normally the patient with poor vision, they claim that they could not see when at sunset or when the illumination decreases. Now we stimulate the iris muscle, the extraocular muscle, the intraocular muscle to see clearly. How come? We told you before that we need a room with different light and different switch to open each light, or to close the window and open the window closure. We first perform the first 3 training exercise on full illumination. Then we reduce one light. We see that the vision becomes blurred. We perform the first 3 training exercise, and each exercise, each eye alone, and opening the lid, the previous training exercise. We see after a few period of time that the vision will improve in this low level of illumination. And we see the line that we reach it with good illumination. Close the other light to become more dimmer and less brightness. And you see it, the chart become blurred. We perform all the 3, 4, 5 training exercise on the chart until we see as much as we could in the low illumination room. These essential 3 methods must be performed exactly. After we perform this age training exercise, you have to notice that must perform for 1 week, not perform the new exercise in the same week. Each exercise 1 week for 1 to 2 hours continuous or interrupted. You see now that you stimulate the extraocular muscle, the intraocular muscle, the lid, to see clearly in both eyes and in each eye alone. I hope that you understand my poor language English, and you know how to improve your vision by the ALKASAB training exercise. It is free for God. And for the patient, they hate the glasses, to wear the glasses, or afraid from doing laser operation, which has many difficulty and disadvantage that we will told you about it later on. Next lecture will be 2 training exercise, improve vision inside the house and outside the house and in your work. These are important that we shift from the chart to the environment around us. I hope that I satisfy you with my small knowledge to help you to get rid of your eyeglass. With my best regard, I am Dr. Samir Al-Kasab, eye specialist from London and Dublin University. God bless you and goodbye.